Have you ever looked at the stars and wondered, how did we get here? The Earth we live on today, full of oceans, forests, animals, and cities, was once just floating dust in the cold, dark emptiness of space. It didn't have life, water, or even a solid surface. In this video, we'll take you through the entire history of Earth, from its violent birth to the digital world we live in today. So get ready, because this is the story of everything. About 4-6 billion years ago, a massive cloud of gas and dust swirled in space. It was leftovers from exploding stars, supernovae, full of energy and elements. That cloud began to collapse under its own gravity. In the center, a giant ball of heat and light was born, our sun. Around it, smaller chunks of rock, ice, and metal collided and merged, forming the planets. One of them was a young, violent Earth. But this was no blue planet yet. It was a fiery hellscape, a molten ball constantly bombarded by meteors. Lava oceans, poisonous gases, and temperatures hotter than any desert today. Then came one of the most important collisions in history. A Mars-sized object slammed into Earth, blasting debris into space. That debris slowly came together, forming our moon. That moon still orbits us today, calming our tides and lighting our nights. Over time, the Earth began to cool. The surface hardened, and volcanic gases formed a thick, toxic atmosphere. But inside the planet, heat still boiled up, fueling eruptions and earthquakes. Then something amazing happened. Water vapor in the air condensed, and it rained. Not for hours, not for days, but for thousands of years. That endless rain filled Earth's basins, forming the first oceans. These oceans were full of strange chemicals and constantly churned by underwater volcanoes. Imagine a world with no continents, no beaches, just deep, dark water under a stormy sky. But in that darkness, something stirred. Around 3.5 billion years ago, tiny single-celled life appeared in the oceans. They were simple, microscopic, and fragile, yet incredibly important. These early organisms, like bacteria and archaea, survived near underwater vents, using chemicals to create energy. Eventually, some evolved a new trick: photosynthesis. These were cyanobacteria, and they used sunlight to make energy and released oxygen as waste. At first, that oxygen poisoned many forms of early life, but over millions of years, it began to transform Earth's atmosphere. This led to the Great Oxygenation Event, a turning point in planetary history. Thanks to these tiny organisms, life could eventually become more complex. For billions of years, life stayed microscopic. Then, around 540 million years ago, came the Cambrian Explosion. Suddenly, life exploded in complexity and diversity. The seas filled with bizarre, alien-like creatures. Some had eyes, others shells, spines, or even claws. This was the first time Earth saw real ecosystems: predators and prey, survival, and adaptation. Some creatures lived on the seafloor, others swam, and some developed hard skeletons. It was the dawn of complex life and a preview of what was to come. Life slowly made its way to land. First came plants, covering Earth in green. Then came insects, then amphibians, and then reptiles. Eventually, around 230 million years ago, the Earth entered the age of giants, the age of dinosaurs. From towering T-Rex to soaring pterosaurs, dinosaurs ruled land, sea, and sky. For 165 million years, they were Earth's dominant life form. But their reign ended in a flash. 65 million years ago, a massive asteroid hit near today's Yucatan Peninsula. It unleashed wildfires, darkness, and a mass extinction. The skies went dark. Plants died. So did the dinosaurs. Except for a few small feathered ones. Over time, they evolved into something you know well: birds. With dinosaurs gone, mammals began to thrive. Some lived in trees, others underground. They were warm-blooded, curious, and adaptable. Millions of years later, some of these mammals started walking upright. They used tools, made fire, and lived in groups. These were the early humans. Over hundreds of thousands of years, they spread across continents: Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, the Americas. They learned to hunt, to paint on cave walls, and to imagine gods and stars. We weren't the only humans, though. There were others: Neanderthals, Denisovans, and more. But eventually, Homo sapiens became the last humans standing. About 10,000 years ago, humans made a major change. They stopped being nomads. They started farming. Grains like wheat and rice became food. Villages became towns. Towns became cities. Civilizations rose in Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, China, and the Americas. They built pyramids, invented writing, created music, and made laws. They studied stars, mapped rivers, and started trade. But they also fought wars, built empires, and destroyed forests. Progress came with a price. In the last few hundred years, everything accelerated. The Industrial Revolution brought machines and factories. Electricity lit up cities. Trains and ships carried goods across oceans. Then came the 20th century. Cars, planes, antibiotics, rockets. 2 world wars, the moon landing, the internet. And now, the age of artificial intelligence. In just 2 centuries, humanity has reshaped the planet more than in the previous 200,000 years. Today, Earth is more connected than ever, but also more vulnerable. Climate change, pollution, deforestation, these are our challenges. Yet we also have hope, renewable energy, global science, and billions of minds ready to act. We are just a tiny chapter in Earth's long story, but what we do next will decide how the story continues. This is Earth. This is our home, and this is our responsibility.